Good evening, Namaskar. You're watching CVR News, and today we are live with a prominent speaker all the way from Germany. Yes, we are being joined by Axel Angeli all the way from Germany on a live Zoom call. He's a corporate IT expert, a prominent keynote speaker, and a renowned author. Now, Axel Angeli sir shall be joining us live here in the CVR newsroom. May we have Axel Angeli live? Good evening, sir.
Hello, good
Very
evening,
happy to
everybody.
have you joining us live all the way from Germany here in the CVR newsroom. And we are here to discuss this big IT outage which has taken place, and it has shaken up the entire world. So we would like to know how deeply is the entire world shaken up by this IT outage at the moment?
Well, actually, we do not know 100% actually what has happened, but all indicates that there was a problem with the CrowdStrike software. CrowdStrike is a firewall software, and it's one of the leading providers of firewall softwares. Similar others in the range are Trend Micro, Palo Alto Systems, Sophos, and all and some others there, and they seem to have rolled out a patch which made servers freeze, so the famous blue screen
It
of
went
death.
absolutely
And
impromptu. It
these
never showed up.
servers are used by everybody. So
showed up.
what I'm a little bit surprised is that everybody says actually it's a Microsoft outage, but it's not a Microsoft outage. It is actually a problem with all the providers, including Amazon Web Services and others in this range.
So, we do understand that this Microsoft outage has affected vast number of industries, but out of all the industries, especially the IT sector, which industries are the most severely affected and have taken a setback at this moment, sir?
First of all, I have to make it clear, it is not a Microsoft outage. It has nothing to do with Microsoft. It is a problem with the firewall software that is on servers, and it doesn't matter whether it's Microsoft, Google, or Amazon Web Services, or whatever, or even Linux systems. It doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with Microsoft. Microsoft is a victim of it because Microsoft is running a lot of those servers. The industries which are impacted, apparently the most impacted ones are airlines, because aviation sector has broken down heavily in many places of the world, in Australia, in Europe. Many flights have been cancelled, especially in Germany and in United Kingdom. And on the critical side, hospitals. A lot of hospitals had also IT outages, which made the treatment or registration of patients quite difficult, and finding electronic files and this kind of things.
So, the world has been updated recently that Microsoft has finally found a solution to this technical problem or this bug, so to speak, and they are finally fixing this problem, although it might take some time for the entire problem to be fixed. But the question comes to the mind, the inevitable question, that is Microsoft going to find a permanent solution to this bug, or can the world expect outages and problems of such type in the future as well, or are we looking at a better future where we have more promising solutions?
I repeat it again, I said it twice, it is not a Microsoft problem. Microsoft has found a workaround to bypass this problem, but they are not the cause of the problem, they did not initiate the problem, they only are the fastest one to find a fix against it. Currently, it appears that the company CrowdStrike is with their software caused the outages. And this is a company completely independent of Microsoft. But Microsoft has announced that they have found a kind of a workaround. A thing seems to be seem also to be stable right now. And with Google, I have not any information, but their bigger problem is those who are not running on these big cloud systems, but the computing centers who are running, for example, for the hospitals. They will not be repaired by any Microsoft fix because they are not under the custody of Microsoft at all. So the problem is actually we need to find out why this patch has been rolled out. Maybe not tested properly, maybe a wrong release strategy, we don't really know. But it seems that too many companies rely on a very, very small number of vendors, and instead of having a redundant implementation of firewalls, they rely on only a single vendor, in this case of CrowdStrike. If you would have CrowdStrike and Sophos, or would have CrowdStrike and Palo Alto Systems, or Trend Micro, and have two systems, then you could shut down the front one and take the other one up, then the problem would be solved. But most companies will not go into this one because they would have to pay double license fees.
So, another question which comes to the mind is that although we are surrounded by advancements in artificial intelligence and information technology, we are also simultaneously living in a world of social revolution. Information is being constantly updated for the people across the world by the minute. So we are not just talking about the small Microsoft 365 apps, we are talking about people's data, information. We're talking about organizations' collective data, which is by the ton, which is being stored on cloud storage. And this data is extremely relevant and crucial to the world across the industries. Right now, the storage of this data, the security and the safety of this data is being questioned. This is a severe problem. Or what seriousness are we looking at right now? Is the public, are the common masses looking at the correct picture, or are we looking at the surface level problem? Are we about to reach the bedrock of the problem anytime soon? How severe or grave is this problem in terms of the safety and security of people's data, the world's data?
Well, actually, to understand whether your data in the cloud is secure or not, you have to look very much on the architecture of cloud. Generally, you can say data stored on a cloud system like Azure, like AWS, like Google, is more secure when it is served on an on-premise server or in a local data center. That has to do that data in the cloud is typically not stored in a single location, but it's split into millions of small pieces, and this is distributed across the whole cloud network. It's not easy to describe this in a second, but generally the concept and the strategy behind is that cloud data is more secure against hacking than data that is on-premise. What we are doing already is actually the internet itself, also the physical infrastructure. If you are, like I'm saying, what happened now is CrowdStrike actually. If the servers are no longer accessible, then of course you cannot access your data. But we have to separate. The one thing is the security, that your data is not stolen, not abused. That is relatively well controlled and maintained, and by the concept how data is stored in the cloud. But guaranteeing that somebody is not hacking the credentials and getting the master key to access the data, that is the more difficult problem. If somebody gets the master key to the bank safe, then he can take all the money out of that. But as long the keys are safely, the money is also safe, and the same is with the data. As long as you do not have the master key to the data safe, your data is very, very much safe.
So one last question before we wrap up this interview, especially for the people who are dealing with large amounts of data every day. Although we are surrounded by IT all the time, but with the advancement in artificial intelligence, are we looking at a positive and a cooperative collaboration between these two industries to further safeguard ourselves in the future?
What have to look a little bit on the terminology artificial intelligence. As of now, there is a lot of artificial, but there is not much intelligence behind AI systems. It is applying mathematical, statistical methodology on a big amount of data. And the advantage of AI over human systems is that AI has now the internet to access data across the world in de facto real time, and that the computers have a lightning speed in processing a huge amount of data in a very, very little time. Principally, the artificial intelligence, it will change our world, but it will bring us a lot of advantages. But we should not always fall onto some promises or miracles that are coming. It is like when the computers became popular, the pocket calculators in the 1970s, the personal computer in the 1980s. Before we did calculations on a sheet of paper, and that was also good enough. But then the computer came and we could do the same calculation, 10,000 calculations in a minute, while a human could only do one. And the same is with artificial intelligence. We could now Google, and it takes us maybe one day to get all the information about a certain disease. And now the computer, he can scan the internet and he gives you this information in 10 seconds using the ChatGPT generative AI software. So there will be a lot of advantages, but you do not expect too many miracles, and because there are not many miracles, there will also be a change how we treat, how our world will be in the future, but it will not be jeopardy.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us live all the way from Germany and throwing light on such a serious and a grave matter. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Axel Angeli joining us all the way from Germany, a corporate IT expert and evangelist, a prominent keynote speaker and a renowned author. For further updates on the cloud outage, keep watching CVR News.